So just a few days ago, it was reported that Dennis Smith Jr. would be signing a deal with the Blazers, not to an NBA contract, but only to a training camp deal. And that just made me realize how far he has fallen, because I remember coming to the NBA and early in his career, a lot of people, including myself, expected him to be an all-star level guard, and now he's not even a good backup point guard, which is mad tough. That's led me to make this video where I'll be discussing Dennis Smith Jr.'s rise to the NBA, and his fallout, and as well as why he fell out of the NBA. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video, as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content, and if you want to help me reach my goal of 1,500 subscribers. Also drop a comment on this video to start a conversation with me, as I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. First, we gotta discuss Dennis Smith Jr. in high school. And in high school, he was simply sensational, as he was always talked about because he was one of the more entertaining players in high school basketball and in recent history in high school basketball, because he had crazy athleticism and he had a really flashy play style with his handles and his passing. In his junior season at Trinity Christian Academy, he averaged 22 points, 7 assists, and he was ranked as a 5-star recruit, and he was one of the more popular high school players. He was also ranked as a top 10 prospect for most websites, but at an Adidas event, Dennis would tear his ACL, and at first he was ruled out for his entire senior season, but then he claimed he had felt no pain, and the doctor said there was no swelling, and in only 2 months it healed, which is absolutely crazy. And that was due to the fact that he actually had an extra ACL, which is crazy and really rare. And he claimed after tearing his ACL, his vertical jump went up 8 inches. But when it came to selecting what college he should go to, nearly every big college offered Smith an offer. Guys like Duke, Kentucky, UNC, and others, but he ended up staying in his city and choosing North Carolina State. In Dennis Smith Jr.'s 1 year at college, he played really well and he didn't really fall off, as he was named the ACC Rookie of the Year. He was also added to the ACC All-Freshman teams, and he was added to the second All-ACC team, so obviously he played very good. And in 32 games, he averaged 18 points and 6 assists and had plenty of big 20-point games, even 30-point games. But after his freshman season, he announced he would be entering the 2017 NBA draft, and most mock drafts had him going in the top 10, although his stock fell down a little bit due to his injuries and the fact that his team was not winning much games at the college level. In the 2017 NBA draft, Dennis was selected by the Dallas Mavericks with the 9th overall pick. A lot of people viewed him as a potential steal of the draft, and many, including myself, thought he had as much potential as any of the players who were drafted above him. And going to Dallas seemed like a pretty good situation, since they were heading in a rebuilding direction, and he would hopefully get the opportunity to play with freedom. That's exactly what he got in his first year, as in his rookie year he showed a crazy amount of potential, as he had many games where he looked like a future star. In his rookie year, he averaged 15 points and 5 assists, which looks good, but he did shoot a disgusting 39% from the field and 31% from 3. But despite the horrid efficiency, most people weren't worried due to the fact that most rookie point guards come into the NBA struggling with their efficiency, and people figured with more talent added to his team and just him improving, he would improve his efficiency and that wouldn't be a problem. The biggest problem with him from his rookie season definitely had to be his shot selection, because Dallas didn't have much other good offensive players, so he was free to shoot any shot he wanted, and he simply wasn't good enough to take those shots. But nonetheless, people were really happy with how he did in his rookie year. But in the 2018 NBA draft, something would happen that would change the whole trajectory of Smith's career, and that was the Dallas Mavericks selecting Luka Doncic with the 5th overall pick. To begin Dennis Smith Jr.'s second season, before it started, most people were expecting them to improve even more, but what people didn't realize was that there was a fit mismatch with Dennis and Luka, since they were both guys who were best with the balls in their hands. And even though Luka could play, and he could play off ball, he could shoot better, it was clear that he was way better than Dennis, so he just got the ball more, which made Smith way less effective since he was not a good shooter. And it was just clear that they were not a good fit at all, and they were actually a negative together when they were on the court, so it's kind of obvious something had to happen. And something did happen, as Smith got traded to the Knicks in exchange for their Grunwald star and Kristaps Porzingis. And when this trade happened, most people had the Mavericks as winners of the trade, but people were still excited to see DSJ play in New York, because he seemed like a player who just fit the vibe of New York with his crazy dunks and his flashy play style. And in the 21 games he played in New York to end the second season, he played a bit better, but still not amazing, averaging 14 points and 5 assists, shooting an inefficient 41% from the field and 28% from 3. But at this point, no one had given up on him yet. In his third season, a lot of people were expecting Dennis to break out and show that all-star potential, but he truly had the worst year of his career due to the fact that he barely was getting play time, and he was just flat out not good. I don't know what happened, he just wasn't good. It got so bad to the point where Knicks fans were booing him at home games and saying they wanted Frank Ntilikina, the bust, to play instead of him. And that was kind of confirmation that the fans of New York had given up on him, and basically the organization had given up on him because they weren't even playing him. And I felt like his confidence and his career truly went downhill in this season. He ended up averaging 5 points, shooting 34% from the field, and he had several, and I mean several, DNPs. In Dennis Smith Jr.'s fourth season, it was just as bad as his third, as he barely got any playing time on a New York Knicks team that was actually trying to win, and they had a new head coach in Tom Thibodeau, and Dennis thought before the season he would get to break out and be the starting guard, but they chose a rookie Emmanuel Quickly over him, as they should have, and they even put Elfrid Payton over him, who's probably one of the worst starters in the NBA. And this season, he just got plenty, and I mean plenty of DNPs. He even had to go down to the G League at some point, and it was just clear his career was at rock bottom. Then at the trade deadline, he was traded to the Pistons in a deal that included Derrick Rose to the Knicks. And in the last 20 or so games he played in Detroit, he played a bit better, but he wasn't way better. And now we're caught up to Dennis Smith Jr.'s career. To discuss what I think the problem is with Dennis Smith Jr. and why he fell at the NBA, I think the clear problem is his lack of shooting, because no matter how athletic you are in today's NBA, if you're a point guard, you gotta at least be a threat from the 3-4 line, and he simply isn't at all. He also is just really inefficient, and if in the NBA you're constantly shooting under 40% from the field and 30% from 3 as a guard, you're not gonna play unless you're like Marcus Smart or something, and he doesn't even do that bad. And the thing about Dennis is that he doesn't excel at anything. Obviously he's crazy athletic, but he's not a great finisher. He's a bad shooter. His best trait is probably his passing, and he's probably average at best at it. On defense, he has the potential to be good on that side of the floor, but he just hasn't been that good on the side of the floor. I think if he was never traded from Dallas, then it would have been better. I don't know if he would have been a star or anything like that, but I think he would at least be a solid point guard because he had confidence back then. But nonetheless, it was smart for Dallas to get rid of him. If Dennis wants to go back to the NBA, I think he needs to focus a lot on his jump shot and become at least an average shooter. He also has to take more smart shots as well. I think the best chance Dennis has is right now on the Blazers, since they're a team that's looking for more offensive options, things like that, to help Dame. So maybe he could carve out a role for himself on that team. I don't know, but I do hope he excels because I think he still has potential to be a solid NBA player. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think Dennis Smith will make an NBA comeback. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. And if you want to mission the goal of 1,500 subscribers. Also drop a comment on this video to start a conversation with me, as I do respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.